Hirschbach, Jessie and Dan coming to you from East Dubuque at the Vroom Building. Glad to see everyone here. A lot of activity here for Tuesday, and glad to be able to talk to all of you that are out on the road or at the other locations.
Welcome, and again, it's day 2 of Driver Appreciation Week, which is very exciting. I listened to the podcast from yesterday, and I didn't even mention Happy Appreciation Day for everyone. So first of all, I'd like to say thank you to all of our drivers out there. Many of you we don't get to see every single day, but we want to show our appreciation and make sure we said Happy Appreciation Day. And thank you for all you do.
Yeah, absolutely. If you didn't catch yesterday's broadcast, ditto what Jessie said. We appreciate everything our drivers do, and everyone really does. But the drivers have an extra kind of heavy burden being out on the road week after week and picking up and delivering our freight to make our business successful. So we got activities throughout our network. I think today, East Dubuque, Monmouth, Dover, and Joliet are providing food and activities. Throughout the week, there'll be 6 or 7 facilities that will be hosting the drivers and providing the lunch and stuff. Before I forget, a couple of things. Today's sponsor today is Computer Atlanta, and we appreciate them for sponsoring us.
This is their second day of sponsoring our drivers' lunches, so thank you, Computer Atlanta.
Yeah.
Our drivers greatly appreciate it. And out there today, it looks like we're having over in East Dubuque, looks like it's a taco bar, which I heard was a pretty big hit. It's almost going to be as fantastic as, what did she call it, Dan the Man?
Yeah, if you're
Friday.
in town Friday, come on by. I'll be grilling some burgers and dogs. So the other thing, just as long as we're talking about sponsors, shout out to some of our bigger vendor sponsors, Thompson, Truck Country, Link Drive, Mid-States Utility. They're our trailer provider, Transflow, which is our app provider, and data indexing, or paperwork indexing, I should say. And then, of course, our Truck Country, local provider of our trucks, Freightliner trucks. If you haven't gotten by, this is our t-shirt this year. This is the edited version, but Kicking Asphalt, pretty snazzy, so I'll be wearing mine later on.
Are you wearing it today?
Not today. I'm saving it for Friday.
Are you? So I'm curious. You always wear slacks, Dan. Are you wearing slacks with your T-shirt?
No, I will probably wear some very short shorts. Thinking. So.
It's gonna be a good day on Friday.
No, I'll probably have jeans on, jeans and boots. Also, get by the terminals, get your swag bags. There's a number of goodies in there, and if by chance you get through Driver Appreciation Week and you don't get to one of our facilities, by all means notify I believe the HR team, and they will redirect and get you your T-shirt and swag bag. So.
Yeah,
All's
and there's
good
a
there.
form on Facebook too. I think you can fill out if you aren't able to reach out to them. You can fill out the form, and we'll start mailing T-shirts after Driver Appreciation Week is over with, and make sure everyone gets a shirt that wants one.
So yesterday we had some back and forth about some business updates and stuff, and we've got a couple guests here today that we're going to introduce momentarily. But before we do that, there's a couple of talking points maybe we should step through.
Yeah.
One is, every year we participate in the Wreaths Across America, which is first of all, it's a very good thing to do for our veterans. It's very popular with our drivers, and we will be once again doing that. So here in the near future, you will be getting more information about the Wreaths Across America program and eligibility to sign up, etc.
We'll send those forms basically. You can sign up on Facebook or on the app. There'll be a lot of communication coming out to the fleet through driver managers. But again, if you're a veteran and if you want to sign up to be able to haul one of the loads with the wreaths in it, sign up on that form or watch for that form. Ask your driver manager about it. We want to make sure. We usually have great participation rates and tons of people will sign up. So if you don't get chosen, don't get discouraged. Keep signing up every year. We love this event and we like to share with all of our drivers. And it's a really good event.
Yes, it sure is. So, actually, I'm going to call a quick audible here. Marty, you want to come up and take the center mic? Yeah, you, Kepler.
He said, Marty? Says me?
So this is complete audible improv here.
No pressure, Marty. Don't mess it up.
Marty, please don't screw it up, okay? Buddy?
Yeah, nothing like put me on the spot, Dan.
No, well, I'm standing here, and I'm seeing a small army of drivers in these safety vests. You want to tell the organization what that's all about?
Oh, sure. Gosh, I think it was last year we fired up a driver training program, and it's expanded. Today we bring in about 30 students a week, 30 new students every week, and we have a program here in Kansas City, and one in Kansas City, one here in Dubuque, and I tell you, it's an amazing program. It's really fun to see these people that want to change their life, that want to get into trucking, go from not having a CDL to having a full-blown CDL and a full-blown career here at Hirschbach. And I think they appreciate it. We definitely appreciate them.
Closer to the mic, Marty. Closer to the mic.
Come on, Marty.
I'm a rookie.
There was
Yeah,
a
I'm a
story
rookie.
that you told
Come
me
on, Rook.
yesterday, and
Come
it
on,
gave me
Rook.
goosebumps. And you don't have to give all the details, but there's some pretty amazing things happening on the CDL training side. With people coming from all different walks of life and how they come into the program. Some, who their family may be in trucking, and some this might be a career path, their second or third choice in career. But it's pretty remarkable, and I know you're changing lives out there every single day. Tell us more about your program and some things that stand out to you.
Well, I think, speaking of the story that you mentioned, it was, we had a guy come in, and we do have people from all walks of life. We have PhDs and people who decided they need to change something in their life. And this particular individual maybe hadn't made the best decisions with his life up to this point. He said, you know what, I'm going to change things around. I'm going to get a CDL. I'm going to get a career. And he failed his test the first time and failed it pretty bad. We didn't think he was going to graduate. Next day he walks into my office, and he's a mountain of a man. And he walks up and he starts telling me his life story and how he really wanted this, and he starts to tear up. I start to tear up. He hands me his pass, and so we're there standing in my office hugging it out, me and this big old guy, and he achieved his goal. He turned his life around to get a CDL and get a good career and be able to show his kids that he's made something of himself. And I think far and away, that's one reason why I got back into CDL training, is because we do change lives.
Absolutely.
And there's no place better to change your life than here at Hirschbach. I've been in this industry for about 35 years, and I've never seen a company treat drivers better than we do here at Hirschbach. I think it's a great place.
So Marty, maybe share with the group how many students we have, going through the classroom type environment, and then how many are out there in the final stages of their training with their CDL trainers.
You bet. So we bring on, like I said, about 30 new students a week. So it's a 4-week program. So at any given time, we have over 120 students here in what we call the classroom phase, where they're training to get their CDL. We have another 90 or so out on the road with trainers, which is another 4-week program. So all in, we have over 200 drivers, new drivers, picking up their CDL here in the program. The ground phase is the easiest phase, or not the easiest phase, it's the best performance phase. We have about a 70% graduation rate of the people going through the program to get their CDL. It gets a little more difficult when they get out on the road. That's where the real lifestyle sets in, and they realize, hey, this isn't just a piece of paper, this is a lifestyle that I have to live. And we need a lot of trainers to help with that, a lot of very qualified trainers. And so we see a little lesser of a graduation come out of that program. About 50% of the students that start the program actually finish the program. And that's good and bad. We want some of those people to graduate, but at the same time, some of those people realize that this isn't their career, or they just don't have the skill set to make it. And that's okay. We want them to be safe drivers, and that's our number one goal.
So why don't you share briefly with the
Audience.
people, audience. Thank you, Jessie. So about what's in it for the trainers,
You bet.
foundation trainers.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to stick with the philosophy that the number one reason is the sense of contribution. I think every trainer that's gone through this program that we've talked to has mentioned that the reason they got into training was because they want to give back. Somebody at some point in time trained them, and they want to give that back to somebody else. They also want to participate in producing safe drivers out there. So that's far and away the biggest reason. But it's a very strong financial contribution as well. Our trainers make an additional $305 a week based on the number of days they're out there training, but they also get credit for all the miles they drive. And basic for our lease purchase fleet that's out there, that's free labor. After 2 weeks of training, those students, if their performance is up to snuff and the trainer agrees, they're green lighted to go ahead and team with their trainer. You think about the miles that team truck can generate versus a solo truck, and it just ratchets up their income in a very significant way. So if you're thinking about being a trainer, it's a great opportunity to give something back, to do something in a very charitable way, and then also increase your income.
How can they sign up to become a trainer? So what are the requirements for someone new coming in or an experienced driver that we have right now? I think Clint's raising his hand over there. But what, no, he's shaking his head no. What do they need and what are the requirements for becoming a trainer?
Sure. We do require 2 years over-the-road driving experience to become a trainer at Hirschbach. A driver who enters Hirschbach with that level of experience, after 45 days of understanding the Hirschbach ways and how we process claims, how we process payroll, how we process a variety of things, after 45 days they can put their name in the hat to become a trainer. They have to be signed off by operations, signed off by safety and logs. If all those things match, we're going to bring you in, we're going to put you through a day and a half trainer foundations program, and then we'll get you matched up with a student out on the road.
Sounds great. So appreciate it, Marty.
You bet.
Good impromptu.
You did good, Marty.
Good job. Thank you. Just, some of you out there might be kind of wondering why are we doing this, and it's all about the long game. We could continue to hire drivers, off the street from all the various carriers out there we compete with, but we really want to grow our own and teach them the right way and generate our own drivers. We're optimistic by the end of the year, 50% of our driver needs will be coming from us homegrown internally through the school. So it's a long game. I do have a funny story about my driving career.
Oh yeah, let's hear it.
Yes. So I never drove over the road. I did drive a 18-wheeler hauling grain way back, and somehow, some way, Kevin Friesen, of all people, bumped into the guy that taught me how to drive. And
Small world.
yes, only Kevin could pull this off. So anyway, I remember my training was all of maybe an hour. We went up, we got in the truck. We kind of did a walk around, and we went up one exit, so about 4 miles. We went from Allendale, Minnesota to Hope, Minnesota on I-35 northbound. I did not hit one gear, zero smooth shifts. And we came back and said, you did okay. And I hooked up to a loaded trailer and followed him up into South St. Paul to deliver a load of grain. But that was my training.
Maybe that's why your driving career path didn't last very long.
Yeah, it didn't work out. Actually, he told Kevin yesterday that he's got an open truck, but he would consider me if I was looking. So anyway, but trucking's been not in the driving sense, but trucking has been very good to me overall. So very much enjoy the industry. So I think next we're going to bring up one of our veteran drivers, Clint.
Come on up, Clint. Clint's been with Hirschbach, I'm going to say, I believe it's about 7 years now. I believe he started off as a company driver with us and moved into our lease purchase program. And as he kind of figured out the ways of the lease purchase program and really was able to maximize kind of all of the things in that area, he went and did a Trick My Truck. And so now Clint is a Trick My Truck driver. He's got a fantastic, beautiful truck. If you ever see, is it fluorescent green, or what color green is that?
Lime green.
It's a lime green.
Yeah.
So lime green truck on the road hauling our trailers. You cannot miss it. It stands out, and he's got some pretty cool lights and all sorts of other things underneath of it going on, and really cool gadgets on his truck. So welcome, Clint. Glad to have you.
Thank you.
Well, a couple other attributes. Clint is on our driver advisory board, a very active member in that. He's a veteran, and he's a regular at the Best of the Best banquet. So congratulations on all that. Thank you.
Thank you,
And
sir.
happy Driver Appreciation Week.
Yeah, thank you. It's always nice to see such a wonderful spread for the drivers here, and it's great to see that the school and orientation students get to come into the company seeing that.
Yeah. How's
So-
the taco
so-
bar? Did you eat yet?
Oh,
Just
yeah.
curious.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
So-
the steak
so-
was great.
So Clint, how many trucking companies have their own chef for the drivers?
I don't know. I've only been with 3 companies, and I've never heard of it.
Okay, well, we got one.
Yeah, and he's amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It's good.
So 3 companies. You've only been with 3 companies, and I know you get a lot of offers out there. A lot of companies,
Oh, yeah.
calling you all the time and saying, "Hey, come work for us." What keeps you here?
It's really the family mentality. I'm treated with so much respect around here that it's really not even about the money anymore. Of course, I get paid extremely well, but it's being able to walk into the corporate office and see the DMs or the recruiters, and everybody knows my name. And just being able to be friends with them. I've made so many friends. In fact, almost all of my friends now are up here. So
That's pretty
come
cool.
come April, May of next year, this is where I'll be moving to.
Awesome. And that doesn't happen, right? So you come into Hirschbach, and not all drivers, are going to have kind of the status, and the longevity that you have when you get here. So what wisdom words would you give to other drivers that want to kind of get to where you are? It doesn't happen overnight. It takes time.
No, yeah,
Right, and sticking it out. Sometimes they're persuaded to maybe choose a different carrier or go somewhere else.
Oh, absolutely. I've had my headbutts. DK standing over there. I've had my headbutts with him about speeding. Our number one thing.
Yeah.
It hasn't always been an easy journey, but it's just like anybody says in any relationship, it takes work on both sides.
Absolutely.
It's just, that's the thing. It's just hard work. You want to work hard, you're going to get to go far places. Hirschbach rewards hard work, safe work. So it's a very rewarding outcome in the end. I get to participate in a lot of events for Hirschbach. They ask for my input on a lot of things.
We do. We
And
ask
I'm-
for your input a lot.
And I'm very grateful for the opportunities that Hirschbach has provided me.
We appreciate you too. I mean, honestly, what you do out there every day for us, and on the loads and keeping it safe and not speeding, right, BK? We appreciate it. So thank you.
Well, Clint brings up a good point about the CSA, and we still have a couple categories that we're challenged with, and one is the unsafe, which is basically your moving violations, your speeding, your stop signs, etc. And we really, the drivers are the ones that really control that. BK and the others in safety can preach it, but you're the captain of the ship. So if you're speeding or not following the road signs, that's it's going to cost us. So we'd appreciate everyone, particularly in the moving unsafe and the logs. Particularly, we're getting a lot of static out there about personal conveyance. We just can't have the violations in that category. It's gonna catch up to us. So please follow the rules on all those things.
Absolutely.
Okay. So who's you run over the road?
Yes, sir.
Where's home?
Currently just outside of Bristol, Tennessee.
Bristol, Tennessee, and you're gonna move up here next year?
Yes, sir.
All right.
So I got to finish out a few responsibilities back home. Once those are done, I'll be moving up here.
And then who's your driver manager?
Lori Murfield.
And I assume for a long time?
Yeah. I think I've been with her now for 4 years.
Okay.
4 years is a long time.
Yeah, she's the best. I'm
She's,
Team Lori all the way. So.
Yeah, Lori's very much a mother hen, so we definitely appreciate everything she does. So. Anything else you'd like to add?
No, just always, as always, thank you for year after year, showing the drivers this type of appreciation, full spreads, just everything that y'all do for us.
All right. Well, we appreciate you. Thank you, Clint.
Thank y'all.
Appreciate
Thanks, Clint.
it.
We'll
Be
see you later.
safe. All right. We have our next guest joins us from
ATBS.
ATBS, based out in Colorado. Todd Amon. Here comes the star of the show right here. I've known Todd for quite a few years, and he has worked with Hirschbach. How long now?
We're right around 3 years, Dan.
Okay.
So seems like a longer than that, but fairly new program, and we sure have enjoyed it.
So, without going into your full sales pitch, why don't you tell the audience what ATBS provides and what you and your family look to do?
Yeah, I'd love to, and I appreciate the opportunity to be here with you guys, especially during Driver Appreciation Week. ATBS does, in its simplest form, the books and taxes for owner-operators. So all the folks that get into a new truck and they were a company driver before and they know how to drive the truck well, once you lease that truck, you become a business owner, and the world changes. All of a sudden, you don't get a W-2, you get a 1099, and we get those calls that say, I don't know how to do my 1040 EZ because it doesn't show what was withheld for my taxes, and next thing you know, the IRS is chasing you down. So really, what we do is take care of all that paperwork so you can keep doing what you do best, and that's drive the truck. And y'all probably just read and heard with the Inflation Reduction Act, the way they're going to solve our inflation problem is by hire 87,000 IRS agents, which sounds like a lot of fun for all of us. It's crazy to think about, but at the end of the day, what that really means is they're going to go after the people that are cheating and not paying taxes, I think. And so my advice to all of you is just make sure you do it, because the IRS is a debt that doesn't ever get forgiven. And maybe a longer intro than you wanted, Dan, but when you're an owner-operator, you got to pay your own taxes, and that's just the way it is, and we'd love to help you with it.
So Todd, if one of our drivers signs up for your service, can you just kind of say, like, this is what you guys do and how much it costs per week?
Yeah, you bet, Jessie. So Hirschbach is a great partner. They get our highest discount for a partner fleet. Don't hold me exactly to this, but it's around $24.99 a week. So it's a pretty reasonable price. And we're going to onboard you just like they do at Hirschbach. When you just get in your truck, we're going to talk to you about the differences of now being an owner-operator, and we'll do a budget with you. We actually call it a profit plan because a budget sounds like a root canal, and a profit plan sounds like something that's kind of fun and exciting. We want to make profit, so we'll go through your numbers with you and make sure that you're going to make the kind of income that you want to make and that you're going to be able to pay the home bills. Once we do that, we have an automatic data integration with Hirschbach, so we get all your settlements automatically. Makes life really easy. Anything that you buy outside of Hirschbach, so cell phone bills, motels, those kinds of things, you send us. We have an app. You can just take a picture, send us that receipt. We do all the accounting of that, and then out of that, we do your estimated taxes, your quarterly estimated taxes, your end federal and state taxes. So really, we take care of everything for you, the accounting, the taxes. We give you a monthly P&L. One of my favorite things about the monthly P&L is we benchmark you. So of all the Hirschbach drivers we work with, we'll tell you if you're in the bottom half or the top half. If you're in the bottom half, we'll tell you why and ways you can improve your business operations so you can become, like Clint that was just on here, one of those top drivers. How is he being successful? So we have a business consultant that we permanently assign you to that you can talk with about your business, because business changes, right? We're in different times. So all that's available for that $24.99 per month fee. We don't nickel and dime you for extra things. If your spouse has a side business, we'll include that in your tax return.
That's fantastic. And $24.99 roughly per week. That's not a bad amount. I mean, to have that peace of mind, and you guys will take a garbage bag full of receipts and go through them and sort them. Probably not your preferred method, but you do take them. I've had drivers that said they sent you a box of stuff, and someone will go through each receipt and make sure this one works, that one doesn't work, and kind of sort everything for them. And so for the drivers that haven't done a lease program before, or maybe this is your first time doing it, or even your second time, This is truly the right way to make sure everything is taken care of. You have that peace of mind where you don't have to worry about, oh my gosh, how much do I need to withhold from this check, or what am I doing over here? It's really a nice peace of mind, and because it's integrated, it makes it easy for the drivers and for your company too.
Yeah, like Dan said, we kind of grew up in trucking together, and so what I know is drivers do not like paperwork. You have enough already to deal with, so we don't expect you to be accountants or tax experts. Send us anything to do with your business, and we'll figure it out for you. That's as hard as it gets. We are not cheats of the IRS, but we also don't want you to pay more in taxes than you should, so things like a guard dog deduction, we'll talk through that, and
How
hopefully...
big does a dog have to be a guard dog?
It's a great question. The question is, how big does the dog's bark have to be a guard dog,
There you
right?
go.
If I've got a, nice little, people want to take snakes for, guard pets, which is a little bit pushing the edge. But if I've got a poodle that's tiny, but it yaps like crazy, it's going to keep someone from getting in my truck. And absolutely, we can
There you
deduct
go.
the pet food and the things like that. Sunglasses, they can be deducted because you need them to do your job. Work boots, steel-toed boots. So again, we're not going to cheat the IRS, but we're going to make sure you're getting every legitimate deduction to pay the least amount of taxes possible.
So that's great. That's interesting. I never thought of the guard dog theory, but anyway, that's why you're the expert. But Todd and his company. First of all, for all the truckers out there, Todd's a real trucker. His family was in trucking from way back, way back. His dad had a trucking company, and he and his brothers were involved. So he's what I would call a real trucker, who's adapted and found a different niche in the business. But Todd, I mean, you pretty much work with the who's who of refrigerated trucking, right?
We do, Dan. We have partnerships with a lot of truck lines, and so we see everything you can imagine. Absolutely.
So one of the services that they provide us, or Hirschbach, is comparative data. We can't necessarily see who the other people are, but they will tell us how we're doing in our driver pay compared to the peer group, our fuel costs compared to the peer group, or our equipment costs, etc. So this morning, Jessie and I and a few others went through that with Todd, and I think overall we got a pretty good bill of health. But I'll let the doctor here maybe spell out some of the places we land in the various categories.
Yeah, Dan. So one of my favorite things about what we get to do is help educate companies as well as drivers on how to do better, because our philosophy is a rising tide lifts all boats. And, one of the reasons I got out of trucking and into this business is because driver turnover just made me absolutely crazy. To have a driver leave a company and go to another company for no good reason was, number one, hurtful to the company because I owned a trucking company and I experienced it, but it was also hurtful to a driver. We've actually done the numbers, and we think it costs around $12,000 for a driver to leave one company and go to another. And drivers usually make emotional decisions, so they don't think about that cost when they make that decision. So our goal is to educate, and my belief is that if you're with a good company and you're a business owner, then it's up to you to make a good living if they give you that opportunity. So as Dan alluded to, Hirschbach is an incredibly fair company in every way. Their miles stack right up with the best of the best in the refrigerated business. Their 99-cent fuel program with $5 fuel, it can be confusing because it can look like I get paid a low rate per mile, but at the end of the day, my fuel costs are the best in the industry. So when you tie all those things together, Hirschbach Trucks, they provide a premium truck, almost better than probably any other company out there when you lease one of their trucks, which means I'm going to have really low maintenance costs. So when you tie the whole package together, insurance is very fair. When you look at the whole program, Hirschbach owner-operators net very well compared to other drivers. And so again, what I would say is if you want to be a company driver and do what the company tells you, then that's what you should do. But if you chose to own your own business and operate it, it's up to you to figure out how to be the best of the best, and Hirschbach will give you that opportunity. We don't work with companies that, I don't know if I can say this on a podcast, but there's plenty of screw the driver programs out there, to be honest, right, that make money off the driver's back. And Hirschbach's philosophy is not that. It's to give you an opportunity to be successful as a business owner. the numbers bared it out this morning. And I've talked to Hirschbach now for 3 years with the data, and if things are not quite right, they make adjustments and they make changes. But I'd tell you today, they have one of the best programs out there. So as a driver, figure it out and go make money.
We appreciate that, Todd. Yeah, there's a lot of different opportunities in the market, but we think we've got a great company here, and we're far from perfect, but we stack up well against our peer group in the industry.
And a lot of it too is based off feedback, whether it be from drivers on our driver advisory board or from people we work with in the industry like Todd and other folks out there as well. You know, we do a lot of research. We take a lot of feedback to help make our program better and better. So out there, we appreciate the feedback, and I think the drivers help make this program what it is. And if there's suggestions or different ideas, we'll take those into consideration.
Yeah, sometimes, it's just lip service that we care about our drivers. We work with hundreds of truck lines, and sometimes it just is a feel-good thing to say. But ever since the day that I got invited to work with Hirschbach and just being here for Driver Appreciation Week, and I spent a lot of time, around Hirschbach. As the owner of the company, I don't go to a lot of truck lines, but I like coming here because it's fun, because every management person I know, everybody I see truly deep in their heart cares about drivers, and I love working with companies like that. There's challenges. Trucking's always difficult, but these guys care about you. They want the best for you, and they work hard to do everything they can every day to make your life better.
Well, we very much appreciate that. One last question. All these trucking companies you work with, how many have a chef for the drivers?
Man, I've been a lot of places, and I can't think of any.
Okay. All right. Well, we appreciate it, Todd.
Thanks,
Thank
Dan,
you.
for having me. I
Thanks, Todd.
appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
Thanks,
We'll see you
Jessie.
soon.
All right.
All right, so let's head into wrap up.
All right. So a couple things I want to touch base on really quick. There are more Facebook signups, so prizes given away. Yesterday we gave away some great prizes. I don't have the full list for today's prizes, but I'll make sure I read that off next time. But I think there's 10 to 15 different prizes, so make sure you go on Facebook, sign up for them. We want to give away all sorts of good stuff. I know there's more Pilot Flying Jeff gift cards. I think there's more gift cards to the store and some other fantastic things. So if you missed the sign up today, the cutoff is 5 o'clock, but we'll have another one again tomorrow. So please sign up, go on and do that. And then for tomorrow's podcast, we're working with, if you guys have questions, you can ask live questions right on the chat, right when this is streaming. So go ahead and send some questions in for tomorrow, or if you want to hop on tomorrow and listen to us live, you can ask questions, and Tom will be helping us out to make sure we can read those and answer any questions you have for myself or for Dan or for any of our special guests.
All right, well, just to wrap up, again, we appreciate everything you do. Keep doing it. Keep on kicking asphalt. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
All right. Bye, guys.